And then the second pair, you have a spear and a mirror. And so somehow the spear is like somehow dominating, but the mirror is like revealing something to the people about themselves. And then in your third pair of white hands, you have a danda, which is a symbol of royal authority, and a chain, some kind of like, holding someone in some focus. And then finally, the final pair, you have an axe in the right and a four-faced head of Brahma by the hair in the left. And you're standing on your right leg is standing on Kama, Cupid, which is a symbol also of lust, and of Rudra, which is a symbol of the destructive, fierce anger energy, divine fierce anger energy. And you're standing very lightly on them with the two legs in a very triumphant kind of feeling that you have. And you are Kālachakra, and in a way you are Vishvamata, if you like that, or she is, you're someone else, the Great Seal or whatever, whichever way you want to do it. There's different ways of doing it, depending on what stage you're on. But the point is, you feel magnificent. You feel very, very confident and very determined in your assuming of responsibility for the fate of beings, and to make sure that bliss is manifest in all directions. And in that you're highly aided by Vishvamata, the universal mother, although I also think it might also be called the multifarious mother. There's her many forms that she has. Multifarious might be even better for Vishva than universal. And then in your chakras, of course, you have it, and in her chakras, you have this Om Ahum Ho Hank Sha, Om at the brow level, in the back of the brain, in the center channel. Ah in the throat level, back in the central channel. Hum in the heart chakra, back in the central channel. Hum Ho in the navel chakra, back in the central channel. Hum, the crown chakra above your head, at the very top of your head. And Ksha at the genital chakra. And that's your inner subtle thing. And then there's generally Om Ahum. The Om Ahum really are body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas. And the Ho is the intuition of all Buddhas. And the Hang Ksha is just sort of your individual bliss thing from end to end of your central channel. And of hers, And hers and yours are kind of entwined, the two central channels, because of the union of your sexual organs. And but neither one is emitting anything. It's an undissipating bliss. It's like pure, it's not like reaching a peak and then dissipating. In other words, it's at total peak, and the peak is feeding back up through all the chakras in both bodies. Okay? So that's what you want to meditate. And then gradually, bit by you memorize that so you can really feel all of it. And then gradually each of the 24 implements in the hands are all symbolic of specific samadhis, specific understandings, specific activities. And you sort of learn what that means, And you can emphasize any one of them, Like the chakra, the wheel. The wheel can be the Dharma wheel of teaching, and then it can also be the discus. And with the discus, it shoots around everywhere in the universe, and it helps all beings cut away their personality, self-narcissistic, self-obsession, and self-preoccupation. And with the weapon of emptiness, it's seen like as a weapon of introducing them to clear light, of selflessness, something like that. I mean, you can do all kinds of things once you have a feeling of being in that embodiment. And completely apart from your habitual, ordinary embodiment. That's the key. Both in the internal, what's called the divine identity, the Buddha identity, Kālachakra identity, and also the Kālachakra form and body, which then resonates out to be all the other day. Then your 8 winds, your 10 winds. Vishvamata is also you, but also she is 2 of the most important of your 10 winds. The prajna and the jnana one of the Shaktis, and then the other 8 are 3 of them are major and 5 of them are minor winds. The minor winds are the winds that go to from the heart chakra to the 5 senses. One of the senses being the skin, the whole skin. So it spreads hugely through a network of nerves, of channels. And so this is the goal. Then so you have around you in this penthouse, beautiful, secure, exquisite, with every jeweled pillars and everything, this penthouse, above the mind mandala, where there are the 8 black onyx pillars, the 16 onyx pillars, 4 in each direction, and each pillar has the symbol of the direction. It has a sword on the front, on the eastern ones in front. It has a lotus in the northern one, white lotus. It has a red jewel in the southern ones, the 4. They're adorning the pillars. And it has a red, yellow, a golden wheel on the western ones. In that space below you, as you look, and you look around and look down with all 4 faces at the deities in those, and you sort of see past the consort. You can see the ones in the east in front of you, but you, of course, more interested in looking at her with your front face. But you can also see behind. So you see all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, male and female, in the mind mandala palace. And the mind mandala palace only has a 3-fold wall with white, red, and black. The inner is black. So now we'll do that. We'll get a sense of what that is populated by. That's where we are. Okay, did you meditate that? Did you get a feeling of that? See, that's what I want you to have, is the feeling of you with it, because you are the Shaktis too. They are also you, but they also bring something to you. So it's like a different facet of yourself, and yet it's someone else. And everything is someone else. But you are one with all those someone else's. So you just enjoy the difference, actually. Vive la différence, as they say. So then I, as primal being, so then we read that part. And you draw all the Buddhas, the Akshobhya, Ratnasambhava, Vairochana, Amitabha, and Amoghasiddhi, and all their retinues in their divine forms come, and then they actually are your own whole body, ordinary, or they were what you had previously perceived as your own body-mind processes. And now they're all deities, and they again come and they merge into you. And then they radiate outward from you. And they merge with the body of Vishvamata, which could be you, too, as the female side of this union. And then it radiates out from her and comes back again into your crown in the form of the mandala assembly, merging with the white moon spirit of enlightenment, which melts down the central channel from the fire of the great passion coming from the ovum, red spirit of enlightenment from the mother, and streams down the central nerve channel. And then from the vajras, the phallus, the phallic vajras channel, it falls into the mother's lotus. And then that drop, and the single drop that goes there, which is not a normal emission, it just is, it's connected there to her ovum, and in the meeting point of the 2 channels. And then it transforms into the seeds of all the deities, at first of Akshobhya, and they become the symbol of these deities, and their hand form to transform into the actual deities, which one by one emerge from the mother's lotus, and each take his or her own seat, and Akshobhya, etc., in other words. Then the and the Vajra create a green Akshobhya, faces green, red, and white. 6 arms. You can read it together with me if you like, or you can just listen. It's okay, because you're trying to meditate. 6 arms, right Vajra, chopper, axe. Left bell, Kapala, Brahma, head. And notice usually that Vajra and bell always go together in right and left. Chopper and Kapala, that's the skull bowl, always go together. And axe and Brahma head tend to always go together in the two hands, in this case of Akshobhya. And so bell, Kapala, Brahma head. You can't possibly remember this right away. That's why you have to keep repeating it many times until you sort of see Akshobhya that way. He's green, front face green, right face red, left face white in his case. And then A and a Vajra also create, I think long A and a Vajra create green Vajra Datishvari, green, red, and white faces, same looking like Akshobhya. Vajra, chopper, axe, bells, left Kapala, Brahma head, same. Embraced by Vajra Sattva. So he's in a blue emanated with it, they don't mention, but Prajna Paramita, which is one of the Shaktis, he embraces. And she's blue. And the green Vajradatishvara embraces also a blue Vajrasattva. And they emanate from Mother's Lotus and divide indivisibly from Vishvamata. They both merge with Vishvamata. And again, then you have a Vajrasattva embraced by Vajradatishvari and merges with myself, and Prajnaparamita embraced by Akshobhya merges with Vishvamata. So you both are 3 people, or you're multiple people. Okay? Then now you begin to populate the mind mandala. So you have E, and I'm sorry I didn't have diacriticals in those days. My typewriter didn't do diacriticals. I have to now edit them in. But when you see 2 E's together like that, it means long. One is short and one is long. So E and swords, which are always the symbol of the Amoghasiddhi clan or family, create a black Amoghasiddhi and a black Tara. And their faces are black, red, and white. They have 6 arms holding a sword, chopper, and trident in the rights, and a shield and a skull bowl, always with the chopper, and a white kanvanga, always matching the trident in the left. And they emanate from the mother's, for Vishvamata's lotus, and they are respectively embraced by Lochana and Vairochana. And the Lochana, who is the female Buddha in the Vairochana clan or family, she's yellow, and Vairochana is yellow. So you have a black male Buddha embraced by a yellow female Buddha, and you have a black female Bodhisattva Buddha embraced by a smaller male Vairochana. So Vairochana there takes a smaller form. And she's the dominant partner of the couple. And she's black and he's yellow. And Amoghasiddhi is black and Lochana is yellow. And these are in front of you in the east and southeast. Amoghasiddhi in union with Lochana is in the east. You can see them looking over kind of your Vishvamata who's in front of you. And looking down because you're in this penthouse sort of thing. And then southeast you have Tara, a big black Tara with a small little Vairochana embraced who is in her lap kind of, but in union. They're all in union. And that's the Sugata platform. That means the Bliss Buddha platform. Then which is here a vowel, and jewels, which is the symbol of Ratnasambhava, create red Ratnasambhava and white red Pandaravasini, who is usually the consort of Amitabha. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So they're both red, and they look the same and have the same things in the hands. I won't read it. You can't really remember it all. But basically a red Buddha and a red male Buddha, red female Buddha, who are he's in the south, and she's in the southwest corner and of the mind mandala. And Mamaki, who is white, embraces him, and Amitabha, who is a little Amitabha, who is white, embraces her. And they're in the south and southwest. And so you see them from your red passionate face, looking down to your right, which is the south. And they emanate from the lotus and take their seats there. once they've come out of they come in through you, of course, and into the womb of the mother, then they're born from her, and then they go out there. Then U'u and lotuses create Amitabha and Mamaki, who are white in the north on your left side. And he's a big Amitabha, and she's a big Mamaki. And they are white and so forth. They have faces like that. We don't have to worry about it. And they are embraced by a little Pandaravasini, who's red, and a little Ratnasambhava, who is red, who's in the corner with her, and Pandaravasini is in the northern direction with the white Amitabha. And that's very unusual to make Amitabha white. He's usually always red in other mandalas. So you look down with your left white face, and you see them very peaceful in the north. You know. Then the vowel of and wheel, which is symbol always of Vairochana, wheel, create the yellow Vairochana and Lochana, who is the big Vairochana, big yellow Vairochana, golden Lochana. He's in the west and she's in the northwest. And yellow, white, black, etc. You can see how it's like that. And they are embraced by a little black Tara. He's embraced by her, and a little Amoghasiddhi. So you have these multicolored couples, 8 of them. And of the 8, they are each duplicated, and each have 2 forms of the male and female Buddha deities. Each Buddha has 3 eyes per face. The lords sit Vajrasana, embraced by ladies in Padmasana. The ladies sit in Padmasana, embraced by the lords in Vajrasana. Each side of the Sugata platform has sections to right and left of the Buddha, who's in a particular direction, right? And because there are 4 pillars, right? So there's between the 2 middle pillars, then between the middle pillar on the pillar on this side and the middle pillar on the pillar on this side, there are these sections. That's what it means. And in the east from He, that's in front of you in the black, there are 2 big vases of purified marrow. In the south from her, there's 2 vases of purified blood. To the north of Hu, 2 vases of purified urine. And to the west, vases of purified shit, excrement. Above and below, Ha, are vases of purified semen and sweat. And it should be uterine blood, really. It should be ovum, but I think, really. I'm into the anti-male chauvinist. But anyway, they say sweat. All rest on lotus mats and have lotuses adorning their necks. So this is the population of the mind mandala, the inner part of the mind mandala, on what is called the Sugata platform, between the pillars. And then the yam and the sword, then you do the beings in the doors, the fierce Buddhas in the doors. These are, so yam and sword create a black Vignantaka. La and wheel create a yellow Stambini. And she embraces him. He emanates from Vishvamata's lotus and takes position at the eastern door. So you have Vignantaka. Vignantaka always goes with, is always in the family of Amoghasiddhi. Antaka means terminator of Vignas. Vigna means obstructor. And Stambini means petrifier. But she's female, fierce deity, and she's in union with Vignantaka. Then Ram and Jewel create red Prajnantaka, terminator of wisdom, or intelligence, and he's and white Manini, and they are in the southern door. And Vaman Lotus, white Padmantaka, these are very ferocious. They have demonic faces. They're really fierce, but they're Buddhas, actually. Then you have a white Padmantaka in the north, and he's with a red Stobini, and in the northern door, and then a yellow Yamantaka, who's usually in the eastern door. Here, Yamantaka is in the northern door. He's yellow color, and he's embraced by a black Ativirya. And then above your penthouse, sort of in the attic, Ham and Vajra create green Ushnishi, meaning one who possesses the crown dome, embracing Atinila, who is blue. So green Ushnishi and blue Atinila, they're above. And they don't have anybody below right away, because this is a penthouse and there's all kind of buildings underneath. So these are the 5 fierce couples who guard the mind mandala. And all the terrific father mothers have reddish yellow hair, lots of flaming hair actually, standing on end, are adorned by snake and seal ornaments. Instead of bracelets, the fierce deities have nagas, snakes, around their wrists and arms and ankles and thighs. And earrings made of snakes, and so living snakes, manifestations of Naga kings. And the fathers have right leg extended, embraced by mothers with left leg extended. Then you have a bunch of bodhisattvas, and these are in a row sort of by the wall of the mind mandala, a little bit behind the pillar row where the Buddhas, male and female Buddhas are, the 8 couples of male and female Buddhas. And here you have eye and swords create black Akashagarbha and Sparshavajra. She's a female. Sparshavajra means the diamond of texture, of touch, the sense of touch. And Akashagarbha means the essence of space. And they are bigger, and they are embraced by Gandhavajra, the essence of space embraced by a female Vajra of scent, and a small male Nivarana Viskambi. And they are in right to the right of the eastern door and in the southeast corner, behind Tara, who's in the southeast corner. And they're also black and yellow. Gandhavajra and Nivarana Viskambi are also yellow. They don't mention their colors, but they are yellow. So that's a black and yellow bodhisattva couple. And Akashagarbha is associated with the sense of scent. It's a deification of the sense of smell. And Gandhavajra is the deification of the scent, the thing what you smell, the perfumes that you smell. And Sparshavajra is the deification of texture, and Nivarana Viskambi is the deity of the sense of touch, which is the whole skin. And they're in the south, they're in the east and southeast corner. Then you have a red Kshittigarbha and a red Rasavajra in the south and southwest. Or red, white, black, you can't really remember all that, but they're like red, beautiful bodhisattvas. And they're embracing a white Rupa Vajra and a white Lokeshvara, that's Avalokiteshvara, small ones. And that is Kshittigarbha and Rupa Vajra. Kshittigarbha is the deification, a bodhisattvification of the sense of sight, and Rupa Vajra is the deification of the visual object. And Rasa Vajra is the deification of the taste object, and Lokeshvara is the deification of the tongue sense that tastes. And they are in the south and southeast corner. And then next you have Lokeshvara and Rupa Vajra in the north, the same deities that were the little partners in the southern unions of those two. Now the same deities are the northern ones, but now the Lokeshvara is the big one, and Rupa Vajra are big, and the two consorts who come with them, Nivarana Viskambi and Gandhavajra, are little. I'm sorry, Rasavajra and Kshittigarbha are little. So again, it's a duplication of the couple, changing who's the dominant partner in the couple. And they're in the northern door and northeast corner. Then you move to the west. The yellow one, always you go in a zigzag pattern in the Kālachakra. You always work, you don't just go round, you go in zigzag pattern. And the Al create yellow Nivarana Viskambi and Gandhavajra. Remember, they were the little partners in the east, united with the two big black ones, who were Sparshavajra and Akashagarbha, right? So now they are in the west and the northwest, and they are embraced again by the same Sparshavajra and Akashagarbha, but this time those two are the little ones, the two subordinate partners, in size, that is, and in posture, in their union. They're all in union, but they're in union and posture. So that completes a set of 8 of them, 8 couples. And then there's a little bit more with the bodhisattvas because there's more senses. So then you have a green Vajrapani and a Dharma Datta Ishvari, the goddess of the realm of reality. And Vajrapani is the sense of hearing, actually. And Dharma Datta Ishvari, the realm of Dharma, of things, of reality, she is object of the mental thing. So the mental sense, So then they are embraced by Shabdavajra. Vajrapani is embraced by I think a blue Shabdavajra, and Dharmadhatishvara is embraced by a blue Samantabhadra, the all-good Bodhisattva, and who are the subordinate partners. And they are to the left of the south and the west doors. So you're sort of going backwards now. So to the left of the southern door and to the left of the western door are these couples. And Shabdavajra and Vajrapani is the deification or the bodhisattvification of the sense of hearing, and Shabdavajra is the deification of sound. And Samantabhadra and Dharmadhatishvara is the deification of the mental objects in the mind, and Samantabhadra is the deification of the mental sense. And then these are reproduced in the eastern and to the left of the eastern and northern doors to make duplicate those couples, same couple, but they're with the Samantabhadra and Shabdavajra as the dominant one, etc., in the same way. So all the bodhisattvas sit. So it's a very colorful community, in other words. And you should be trying. I hope you're trying to visualize it. You don't really need to make notes because it's written here, but you are visualizing this. So you're looking down at all of these. You know, you're up in your penthouse with Vishvamata, and around you, very close into you, are these 8 Shaktis who are just looking adoringly at you, and they're your sort of waiting, maids in waiting or something. And they're supporting your union and your bliss with you and Vishvamata. You know, they're supporting you. They're your winds, actually, in some way, but they're deified. And then you look out and you have all these Buddhas. You have these 8 Buddhas, male and female Buddhas, duplicated in 2 sets of couples, each one. And then you have, again, the 5 different bodhisattvas, male and female bodhisattvas, or 6 rather, male and female, so 12 I think total. And they are in an outer row beyond the black pillars. And then you have big vases of these substances, which were originally impure substances, but they become pure substances, in between the pillars. And you look at this quite populated mind mandala, and that's all you need to look at, actually, if you do the retreat with just the mind mandala short form, but still quite long, but relatively short form. And you don't want to do this in your daily sadhana at all. You don't have time. You might occasionally run through it kind of in your mind. But what I wanted you to feel is in this mind mandala there, you're there with all these beings. And these beings are yourself. But they're yourself as various kinds of divine functions. You know, your sight, your hearing, your everything, you know. And your different aggregates, the 4 Buddhas, you know, and 4 male and female Buddhas are your different aggregates, you know, whereas your central one are the consciousness aggregate, you know, and the mental object among the Buddhas. And then your sense organs, the 6 organs, and the 6 sense objects are all of those bodhisattvas around at the outer part, but on the inner wall of the mind mandala building. So you sort of are experimenting there with you're imitating, let's say, the Buddha experience, where you're kind of yourself as a bliss node, an emanator of bliss node, but you also are all these other beings, and you're sort of looking out through everybody's eyes in every direction. You're everyone, and yet each one is itself, something like that. So it's really quite marvelous, actually. And it's particularly, I love it because of the multicoloredness of each of the couples. And blue and green seem to like to fit together nicely. White and red seem to fit together nicely. And black and yellow seem to fit together nicely. They don't seem to mix them in other ways. Right, you know, those are the mixes. Okay? So I just wanted to give you that feeling of this magnificent place with all these Buddhas that you're with there. Then the speech and body are really lengthy, and I didn't type it here. We can look at it maybe tomorrow if you want to get a sense of the 2 bigger buildings as you move outward. And it's nice to know sort of who's there. So now, now we're at least in the mind mandala, and we know there are these other 2 buildings filled with more deities. And now you are you're doing another phase of the mandala triumph. So you're consecrating, you're initiating all beings, actually. So let's read this together now. This you might want to do.
You wanted to print out, but didn't get one. Well, I don't have extra. Specific requests.
So I am myself, read it, let's go to it. I am myself, the Lord Kālachakra, made of the 5 wisdoms, crowned by Vajrasattva, my heart being extremely pure realm of absolute reality. Light rays radiate from my heart and drag all living beings into the mandala. The transcendent Father Mothers are invited by these heart light rays and merge in my heart. The fire of the great passion of myself as Father, Mother in union melt those transcendent lords and ladies into pure spirit of enlightenment. And that spirit of enlightenment emanates from my Vajra path and consecrates all beings. By the mere touch of the light rays from that enlightenment spirit, the living beings become filled with the bliss of supreme ecstasy and gain the nature of wisdom and the technique as they various faces and colors. There are 5 aggregates of all beings, and now you imagine vast host of living beings all around your palace, and you're sort of reaching out from your Starship Enterprise Kālachakra palace into sort of all worlds. And all the beings in those worlds, their 5 aggregates, their material bodies, their sensational bodies, their conceptual bodies, their emotional bodies, and their consciousness mind bodies, mind heaps, from the syllables kshak, shik, shirk, shuk, shul, become the 5 transcendent lords. That's Akshobhya, Vairochana, Akshobhya, Mogasiddhi, Sambhava, Amitabha, and Vairochana. And the 5 elements from kshak, shik, shirk, shuk, shul become the 5 transcendent ladies. And that's Tara, Mamaki, Tara, Pandara, Vasini, Mamaki, and Lochana, and Dharmadatta Ishvari. And the 6 inner sense media, that's your 6 senses, visual, from Kshak, Shek, Shark, Shok, Shark, Cham, become the 6 spiritual heroes. So these syllables go out and they transform all the beings. It's like a flood of these syllables. And 6 spiritual heroes. And then the 6 objective sense media from Kshak, Shek, Shur, Shauk, Shauk, Sha become the 6 spiritual heroines, and then the 5 action faculties from Kshak, Shak, Shrak, Shwak, Shra become the 5 fierce deities. The action faculties are like your mouth, your nostrils, your urethra, your anus. I forgot what the other one is, but that's what they are. And in this way, they transform into the nature of the circle of the mandala of the 32 auspicious signs. They then proceed each to her or his own Buddha land. So here now, basically, what you do in this building, this palace, this jewel palace that you're in, and you're in the body that you're in, which is made of pure light, you have no viscera. You don't have kidneys and stomach and bladders and lungs and heart, etc. You're just pure energy, pure light, of a different color. And all the other deities there are also, the Buddha deities are pure light. And the building, in a way, is also transparent and pure light. And then these syllables, all these ksh, connected with the consonant ksha, which is the ksha consonant, like oma, hum, 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 ksha. The ksha one is connected to the genital center, So a lot of powerful activity and creative activity comes from that, both for male and female. And so those syllables like stream outward, and they go into all the components of the living beings, including animals and beings in hell and deities and everyone. And they turn them into also deity, Kālachakra deity forms. And in a way, they do so bringing them into the mandala, and then they are they're transformed into deities. They're transformed into Kālachakras, and then they stream back out, and they go back to their own palaces in their own Buddha lands. So you sort of visualize them all coming to perfect Kālachakrahood, all the beings. And And then you lock in extremely pure pride. Om, say Om, Suvishuddha Dharma Dhatu, super pure. Suvishuddha means super pure, super purified, the realm of reality. Swabhava Atma Koham, I have the nature of the super purified, should be a V there, Swabhava Atma Koham, the super purified reality realm. So there's no, this is sort of the mandala triumph means you're seeing the whole universe as mandala, all the beings as Buddhas, and you're sort of in that moment of where your fulfillment, their fulfillment is same, you're visualizing that, which happens to a Buddha. And it's why a Buddha can become a Buddha and dwell in the non-dual samsara and nirvana without abandoning the beings, because they see the beings, time is collapsed into a giant, infinite present moment, and that awareness, and everyone is already a Buddha. And here you're just rehearsing what it might feel like, actually. So there's nothing more to be done. It's like, because you're sort of at the level of clear light, and yet the aspect of the clear light is all this fantastic mandala, which itself is relative. It's not an absolute, but it's manifest like that. And so you're rehearsing your own Buddhahood in a way. You're visualizing your own Buddhahood. Okay? Any question? Do you have a little feeling of being in a busy house? You're in a discotheque with a lot of Buddhas of multicolors dancing around. Everyone's in sexual union. But it's this indissipated sexual union that is like a Reichian, simply they're dyads, and they're balancing each other. And it isn't like rushing to a climax, like trying to get something out of it. They're already at the total climax, all the way up, all and down, all of their chakras, because they're all Buddhas. So they are like swept away in the blue light that Wilhelm Reich saw as true, what he called true orgasmic potency. That guy was definitely a former reincarnation of some former Kālachakra practicing monk. There's no doubt about it. How do you ever think of such things? It really was great. And okay, any question about all of that? Now you're gonna when you do your short thing, you're just I'm a Kālachakra, and then all my senses and this and everything I see is like the union. So when you see something, Kshitigarbha, the essence of earth, the womb of earth, his name Kshitigarbha, he is in union. He's making love with Rupa Vajra, the Vajra, the clear light in the form of visual object. So when you see something, it's ecstatic in the sense of it's this union, this undissipated, peak climax, sustained climax, eternal, infinite, sustained climax union of your visual sight is the bodhisattva. The true bodhisattvas, male and female, are in this union. When you hear something, Vajrapani is in union with Shabda Vajra. When you smell something, Akasha Garbha, the essence of space, of sky, is in union with Gandha Vajra, scent Vajra. When you taste something, Avalokiteshvara, tongue sense is in union with Rasa Vajra, the diamond of taste. And when you think something, Samanta Vajra is in union with, or when you touch something, your Sarva Nivarana Viskambin is in everywhere in the surface of your skin, of every aspect of your skin, wherever there's sensitivity, is in touch with Sparsha Vajra, texture Vajra. The clear light of the Vajra, indomitable energy, strong force energy in the form of texture, exquisite texture. And so so sensory experience becomes this kind of peak lovemaking without any kind of like bothersomeness about it. Undissipated, anakshara, undissolving, okay? And then your mind, when you think of any object, your mind sense is Samantabhadra, connecting with Dharma Dhattu Vajrishvari. The Vajra, the goddess of the Vajra, the clear light in the form of a mental object realm. Something like that. Okay? Questions? Any questions? Anything left out? Is there a seventh sense? I think that's the whole thing.
Yes, I have a
And
question.
you know, when you, so you just do a short thing. Oh, I'm Kālachakra, you know, and then here's the palace, and we're all there with all the Buddhas, and then we invite in all the beings, and we transform them into the same as us. It isn't like we're going to lord it over them. We transform them into us. We send them back out into their own mandala, where they invite all beings. It's like an infinite wave that goes out, you know, and that's what Buddhahood feels like.
We have a question.
Yes, question. Where's that? Yes.
So when we imagine ourselves as a Kālachakra with Vishvamata in union, right?
Yeah.
And then there is like a baby Buddha, right?
There's a what?
Like a baby Buddha.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I couldn't hear the word.
Then we should imagine then there is that we born as a Buddha between
You imagine that you're a Buddha?
She's asking if there's a baby Buddha, like the bodhicitta seems to be.
No, when
no babies.
Kālachakra and Vishvamata together, no?
No, they're not. Well, in a way, all of the Buddhas come through and are produced out of their seed and their symbol. And so, in a sense, the whole universe is the baby, yeah, in a way. But there's no baby. I mean, like, little baby. There's no baby. They emerge fully formed as grown male and female Buddhas. But they come through the central channel and into the womb, and then they emanate out from the womb of the mother.
So in the
So
center
there's a
should be
sense of being
Kālachakra,
born,
right? With
but they're not
Vishvamata.
babies. What?
In the center, she's asking, it's Kālachakra and Vishvamata.
The what?
In the center of the whole ordeal are Vishvamata and Kālachakra.
It's not an ordeal, it's a bliss flow. But yeah, they're the center of the, they're not they, they're you. You're meditating this as yourself. And you're shaping everyone, and you're creating the environment, and you're turning all beings into this liberated form, you know, non-dual liberated form, without them falling down to either the extreme of only complete obsession with the samsara, or extreme obsession with being out of samsara and nirvana. You're simultaneously in both, and you're visualizing that. But there's no babies. But they're all your babies in another way. But they jump out full born, so you don't have to nurse them. That's the lucky part. So it's like that. I don't know if that's getting to what your interest is, but that's what it is. Okay? And another question. Any other question? No? Okay, so then now it's the action triumph. So that finishes this, what's called service, but they have different ways of dividing the meditation. And they call it it's the end of the mandala triumph segment. Now here you melt into clear light yourself at the beginning of this action triumph. It says arousal, but actually first there's the dissolution. On my brow, let's read it together. On my brow, the body Vajra Om. On the throat, the speech Vajra Ah. At the heart, the mind Vajra Hum. And Ho, which is the tuition Vajra in the Avaduti at the crown and at the navel. So here both, there's Ho's at crown and navel. There's not Hamksha, just Ho's at crown and navel. The light rays of the wisdom of great passion flare from the navel Ho with the fire of Chanda or Chandali. And Chanda is the goddess of the flame at the center of the pelvic floor. Chanda. She's associated with the low caste, passionate woman. And myself as the Lord Vajrin, together with my consorts on the lotus center and petal. So, you with your Vishvamata, but also with all the 8 Shaktis, you melt into a moon-like drop, completely just melt into a drop like a moon of spirit of enlightenment, abiding in that form as the actuality of great bliss. So you just melt into a drop. You disappear from being ordinary bunch of, with arms and legs and all this stuff. You just become a drop. And thereupon the 4 goddesses, Buddha goddesses they are, Buddhesses I like to call them sometimes, who are the actuality of the 4 immeasurables, and also of the four elements. You know, Lochana is earth, and she's the love immeasurable. Mamaki is water, and she's the compassion immeasurable. Pandaravasini is fire, and she's the joy measurable. And Tara, Samaya Tara, is the wind element, and she is the equanimity immeasurable. But anyway, these four Buddhas, who are the four elements and the four immeasurables, they don't like you disappearing and just loafing around as a drop of bliss. They're a little bit bored by that. So they sing you a song. And first Lochana says, I, Lochana, mother of beings, and the yogi's harmonious cause. You read it together, yeah, with mandala nature, arouse thee, Kālachakra, fulfill my desire. Then I, Mamaki, am the sister, the yogi's evolutionary cause. I, with my mandala nature, arouse thee, Kālachakra, fulfill my desire. Then the third one, the fire one. I, Pandaravasini, which means one who wears red. She's always dressed in red. And the daughter, the yogi's very person. With my mandala nature, I arouse thee, Kālachakra, fulfill my desire. I, Tara, am the granddaughter, abiding immaculateness of the yogi. With my mandala nature, I arouse thee, Kālachakra, fulfill my desire. Thus, they arouse me individually, and then in union, they sing, and this is all sung. You imagine that you're being sung to. O Savior, and you and Vishvamata are, by the way, are both in this lump of this drop of bliss, of white bodhicitta, white enlightenment spirit bliss, great bliss. And they say, O Savior, please, having experienced the mandala of the void, with your resolve to deliver living beings, emanate the mandalas of body, speech, and mind. Then I myself, as the Lord Vajri, become aroused by these songs, and seeing all the three realms as like a hallucination, transformed from the melted moon drop into a blue hung, radiating stainless rays of light. I again transformed into a Vajra-created glorious Kālachakra, radiating the five taintless light rays. Prem, and then there's some more stuff in there about the Shaktis and things, but I left that out. Prem and Chopper create the golden Vishvamata, who embraces me as Lord from the front, four faces, front yellow, white, right white, black blue, left red, each three-eyed, 8 hands, rights holding Chopper, goad, sounding Damaru and rosary, lefts holding Kapala, noose, 100-petal Pundarika, white lotus, jewel, and jewel, adorned by 5 seals, united with the Lord, left leg extended. So then, you're there again with the Shaktis around you, and the mother in your thing, you're not really thinking so much about the mind mandala even, it's just you. And now you emanate the mandala again. So the sound of ecstasy from the union of I myself, Lord, Father, Mother, invites all the emanated deities from the Lord Buddhas and Lady Buddhesses of the nature of the 5 mandalas, up to the Ichas and the Bahichas. And the Ichas and the Bahichas are some kind of, ecstasy goddesses who are sprinkled around, quite a number of them, with weird names, between the mind, speech, and body mandalas. The Ichas Icha literally means desire. So the desires and the outer desires, and they're the ones out on the body mandala. They stand in space above me. And those are therefore the most external of the deities, of the 722 deities. They stand in space above me, and with their nature of aggregates, elements, and media, etc., they enter through the crown for the sake of the devotee mandala. They melt into spirits of enlightenment, or nowadays I would say votary mandala. That's the one I'm visualizing, is the votary mandala. They melt into spirits of enlightenment, the red and white ones, by the fire of great passion, and course through the central channel, the avaduti, falling into the womb of the mother from the father's, well, the white one falls into the womb of the mother from the father's Vajra channel. The red one falls into the womb of the mother from the mother's Vajra channel, as drops. Each part of the drop transforms into the individual deities under the lordship of Akshobhya, First as seed syllables, then as hand syllables, then as full-blown deity bodies. One by one, they emanate from the lotus of the mother and stay each on his or her own station. Some sitting, some standing. I shouldn't have said stand. And Vajra create the green Akshobhya, etc. Then, when you recite this, and when His Holiness does it every morning in the self-initiation, or when the monks do it, when they do it, they again recite the entire thing of body, speech, and mind mandala. Again, in this place. They recite all of it, all 722. Well, 712, that's you and the 10 Shaktis. You and the Shaktis are 10 more, so that makes 722. But these are all that are non-you and the Shaktis. Then you do this thing where the experiential unification with the intuitee hero, you have the devotee or votary hero, even of the mandala and of the deities in the mandala. That means by your devotion, your vow, your commitment, you have created this visualization. Then you go through this process of you send out your Vajra Vega, created from my heart, home in a Vajra. Vajra Vega, so the Vajra Vega expresses the Vajra force, your will as the Vajra force, which is irresistible even by a Buddha. Vajra Vega, nobody doesn't do what Vajra Vega wants. Somehow, it's such a force. So a Vajra Vega emanates on my exhalation, on blue light rays. Terrific body, grinding face, grinning face, gnashing fangs, sounding fierce sound, 12-eyed, 26 arms, 4 faces, 2-footed, emerged from wisdom and art, I would say nowadays, holding weapons like the Lord oneself, holding up with the 2 extra hands, 2 yellow hands, the bloody elephant hide robe, adorned by 5 seals, crowned by Akshobhya. Crowned by Akshobhya means that there's a little tiny live Akshobhya on his crown, because they don't mind duplicating their bodies any amount of time. Wearing skull and fresh head garlands, adorned by snake ornaments, standing on an 8-legged lion chariot. The chariot of 8, there's a bunch of 8-legged lions pulling the chariot. The chariot doesn't have 8 legs. I should put a dash there. He presses on the wisdom hero Lord of the invited deities of the mandala. Actually, it should be intuition hero Lord of the invited deities of the mandala, similar to those visualized. Jabbing the navel of the Kālachakra in the intuition hero. So the intuition hero means the duplicate of the Kālachakra, wherever it is. There's like the original Kālachakra. So he's invited from the original Kālachakra universe to make a duplicate, to come and inhabit the one you visualize. So the real Kālachakra emanates this, what they call an intuition hero, Lord of the invited deities in the mandala, similar to those visualized. So the Vajravega drags them all from wherever they are in their duplicate, and they all become what you visualize. So therefore, what you visualize becomes the real thing, so to speak. He binds that Lord's 24 hands with his serpent nooses. He threatens him with the rest of his weapons and draws him into the sky before me. Then Vajravega dissolves back into my heart. So then you make a big offering sequence to the invited intuition hero mandala with all its deities of Kālachakra, which is the intuition duplicate. And you go to the cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-nya, vajra-gande ganarchanam kuru-kuru swaha, and then you put mali, dupe, pradeep. I'm going to fix that up for you a little bit more later. And you can do that if you want, or you just do it where you just do that one sentence, then you go mali, dupe, pradeep, amate, akstelasya, hasya, padi, niti, giti, kame, and then you close with sarva buddha bodhisattva akrodadin Vajrasurta Pujam Kuru Kuru Swaha. And then you make these 5 things. You're holding the Vajra and bell. You may ring a bell when you make the offerings. Then you hold the Vajra and bell, and then you go Vajra Bhairava Akarshaya Ja. So you say the Vajra terrifier summons everyone here, and then you go like that. And then you go Prajnantaka Hum, and then you touch this little finger and that big finger. Then you put Yamantaka Bam, and you put them together like that. And then you could Padmantaka Ho and Vignantaka Hi. So you merge them all together. So then it becomes the real thing. And then So this just repeats that they all merge. And then, and this you wouldn't do normally. What time is it? Should we take a look? It's almost, I think we'll stop here. I'm going to stop here.
Can you just run through those mudras very quickly for us?
This one, holding Vajrayana bell. This one. Really 4. No, you just touch your index finger and your little finger, index finger and little finger, 4 fingers touching together, crossing them together like that, and holding that for the two mantras. Okay? I think we're going to stop 8:45. Nana told me not to too late. And it would be long if we started on the initiation mantras, which we will do tomorrow around 10 o'clock. Like this. Like this, you're holding Vajrayana bell. Like this. Basically, that's it. Okay? Not to run over after a long day. You all are heroic. I had a great time.
I want to thank the 8 people from the study group that tuned in on the live stream. Hello, everybody. Laura and a couple other people. I'll be sending an email in the morning with the link to tomorrow's live stream. And please submit questions into the chat, and we'll forward it to the group.
One quick nut and bolt is the spa. Our spa, people were asking, our spa is closed on Tuesdays. So tomorrow's a Tuesday. And we're also going to do the extended afternoon class as scheduled. So then at 5:15 tomorrow morning, Michelle's going